A small town just outside of St. Louis, Missouri is planning on giving $1,000 worth of Bitcoin to all of its residents. That's what we're going to be talking about in today's video. What's happening, guys? What's going on YouTube? You guys have tuned into Rules for Rebels. Hopefully, everybody had a good weekend. I thought this was an interesting story. You know, day by day, we're seeing more and more Bitcoin adoption, more and more cryptocurrency adoption, and a lot of cities are seeing the Bitcoin or cryptocurrency industry as a way to bring industry and jobs to their cities, their counties, their states. You know, we saw Miami wants to be kind of like a hub of crypto. There's a number of other cities in the U.S. and around the world that are doing the same thing, that realize an opportunity here. And I thought this article was pretty interesting. This one comes to us from Bitcoin.com. It's titled "Free Bitcoin: The mayor of this U.S. city is raising funds to give all residents $1,000 in Bitcoin." And so it seems like kind of what he wants to do. He's trying to spur crypto adoption. It also seems like in a roundabout way, he's kind of trying to get people interested in their finances. He's trying to get people interested in investing. He kind of talks about here how he wants to create some type of vesting schedule. The goal here is not to give everybody $1,000 stimulus to go sell their Bitcoin and then put it towards their car payment or their mortgage. He wants people to hold on to this Bitcoin probably for around 5 years. He talked about doing a vesting schedule where if you want to cash out right away, maybe you get $1,000 or something like that. But if you hold on for 5 years, he sees the potential that this could be worth a lot of money down the road. He wants people to hold on to it. He wants people to be invested, and you're going to get the full 5,000 if you hang on for 5 years. I thought this was kind of an interesting concept. It made me think of, I have a buddy of mine who for years was, oh, I should really start investing for my retirement. I'd really start to I'd really like to start investing in the stock market. And I talked to him about index funds and things like that, but he never really pulled the trigger. Well, a couple years back, apparently he set up I think an Acorns or a Stash account. For those of you guys not familiar with Acorns or Stash, it's like these investing apps where you buy a cup of coffee for $2.50, and the additional 50 cents to $3 winds up getting rounded up, and that 50 cents goes into an index fund or a stock for you. Now, a buddy of mine had been doing this for, I don't know, maybe 8 months or a year. I don't think really like Stash or Acorns are necessarily a quote unquote serious way to invest. It's, you're not investing enough for retirement. You should be investing what, minimum 10% of your salary, if not 15%. But for him, 8 months in or a year in, whatever it was, one day we were at Best Buy and he was like, "Hey, dude, you know what?" He's like, "I started that Acorns account a while back," and he said, "I got like $1,800 in there." So through a combination of him putting away a little bit each month through his spare change, as well as the appreciation of the stocks that he bought, $1,800 is a decent amount of money, especially when you're not really missing that money that's getting invested, right? He's not missing that extra 40 cents from his coffee purchase or buying lunch or groceries that winds up getting invested for him. And what that actually wound up doing for him, and I think this is kind of the point of these apps, right? Like, don't look at these apps as a serious way of investing, but look at them as a way to get people in the door and kind of show them the power of saving and investing, and that will get them interested in actually investing. And my buddy was kind of so inspired by, in the course of less than a year, seeing he had $1,800 stocked away, that he would, at that point, he wound up setting up a Vanguard account. He got a Coinbase account. He started putting a little bit of money from each check into, both crypto and stocks. And then he, when he got his stimulus checks, when he got other money, he would wind up putting that all in as well. And it, just kind of a similar example. I think a lot of people, if they were never taught about investing, if they just never really started saving and investing, they don't really see the power of it. And so here, I think he's trying to expose everybody to the idea of investing, to buying crypto. The mayor does talk about how he's got some friends who got into Bitcoin early and are now worth $18 million, $20 million. I mean, I don't think any of this, I don't think anybody's $1,000 is going to wind up making them rich. You figure even if Bitcoin wound up going to 500 grand, their $1,000 is going to be what, 10 grand. I mean, nothing to turn your nose up at, but I don't necessarily see people getting rich off this. But I guess the goal is maybe they realize, this Bitcoin stuff, this crypto stuff isn't as complicated as I thought. The city's also plans on doing like some free seminars, teaching people how to store crypto, how to send crypto, how to safely use crypto. So let's hop right on into this article. Uh, the mayor of Cool Valley, a city in the U.S. state of Missouri, is raising funds in order to give Bitcoin to all residents of his city. However, he does not want them to sell their Bitcoin immediately, noting when the price of cryptocurrency is $500,000 per coin years later, people are going to really regret selling. The mayor of Cool Valley plans to give Bitcoin to all residents. Cool Valley is a small U.S. city in St. Louis County, Missouri, with a population of about 1,500. The city mayor, however, has an ambitious plan to make residents of his city wealthy, and it involves giving everyone Bitcoin. Cool Valley Mayor Jason Stewart shared his plans on Thursday in an interview with KSDK, an NBC affiliated television station, noting he is raising funds to put Bitcoin in the hands of every inhabitant in the city. He said, "It's digital gold. I would like to see every single household in my city receive some level of Bitcoin, whether it be $500 or $1,000. I have friends whose lives have been completely changed, like going to working a regular 9 to 5 job to being worth over $80 million in a matter of a few years," added Mayor Stewart, who calls himself an entrepreneur and environmentalist. He revealed that most of the money to fund his Bitcoin giveaway plan will come from several unnamed Bitcoin investors, elaborating, "I have some very supportive donors who have agreed to match any money that I raise, up to several $1,000,000. I'm trying to get a few government funds as well to go along with that, or potentially some of the relief money that comes in from COVID relief." And it's really, this is a town of 1,500 people. So, this isn't a huge amount of money that he needs to raise. Obviously, this would be more of a challenge for a larger city, but I think it's a really cool idea. When asked whether the city funds would also be used, Mayor Stewart replied, "It's possible. We'll see how it goes." The mayor does not want residents to sell their Bitcoin soon after receiving it, however. To prevent this from happening, he said, "We're putting in place a vesting schedule for Bitcoin. The idea is that maybe you don't touch it for 5 years before you really get full access to it," Mayor Stewart clarified. We're working on ideas like that because that's my number one concern. If someone just sells their Bitcoin to pay their car note, and then when Bitcoin is sitting at $500,000 all these years later, they're really going to regret it. The media outlet spoke with dozens of residents of Cool Valley about the mayor's Bitcoin idea. While some of them had never heard of Bitcoin or cryptocurrency, they seemed receptive to the plan. Who's not receptive to free money, right? Ramona Nichols, a mail carrier who lives in Cool Valley, said, "My daughter thinks it's the next big thing, the digital currency. With cash, people have bad habits, and then they buy things they shouldn't be buying. But with Bitcoin, maybe you can give it to your kids. My daughter is going to college next year. I could give Bitcoin to her." Here's one thing I don't really like about that statement. Whether it's cryptocurrency, Bitcoin, gold, silver, whatever else, people can make stupid decisions with their money, right? Like, I don't think anyone, I don't know, maybe people are more likely to make stupid decisions with cash, but somebody can spend Bitcoin frivolously as well. "Putting money in the pockets sounds pretty good to me," said Cornelius Webb, another resident of Cool Valley. Let's see. Mayor Stewart opined, "I believe that Cool Valley is going to get wealthier and wealthier, not just our city, but the actual people who live here." Addressing environmental concerns some people associated with Bitcoin, Mayor Stewart said his city will take proactive measures to offset the known environmental impact of cryptocurrency. "We're giving away Bitcoin, but at the same time, we're converting our entire city to solar, like all of the government lights and things like that," he described. The mayor also talked about some plans to get residents familiar with cryptocurrency, including offering free classes on how to use and securely store Bitcoin. Stewart hopes to kick things off by the end of the year. Meanwhile, some cities in the U.S. are trying to become Bitcoin hubs, including Miami, Florida, and Jackson, Tennessee. The mayors of the two cities are trying to get their local governments to accept Bitcoin for payments and potentially keep Bitcoin on their balance sheets. I don't think we have any comments here. I always like to check the comments. One thing I like Bitcoin over Ethereum. One nice thing about Ethereum, I think I'm not a coder, I'm not a developer, but I think in theory you could set up some type of smart contract that was a vesting schedule to where, like, if a wallet address isn't touched for 5 years, you get full access to that address. Not really possible with Bitcoin in its current state. Although it does look like the city is trying to find some way to create some type of vesting schedule. Anyhow, what do you guys think about this? Would you like your town to give you $1,000 worth of free Bitcoin? Drop a comment drop a comment down below. Let us know what you think. If you're not subscribed to the channel, click that subscribe button below. Thanks for watching, and we'll catch you on the next video.